Dying Light 2 Stay Human is now only 5 days away from release, and as more and more gets revealed about the game, the more and more excited we're also getting. Most recently, Techland released a new gameplay trailer, and in this video we're going to break down this gameplay, analyse what we can see, and discuss whether or not the gameplay shown meets the expectations of the community. But before we get into that, I want to let you guys know that I do have another channel where I upload more content like this, but instead centered around Dead by Daylight. Over there you can find more informational videos like this, as well as stream highlights and more gameplay, challenge oriented videos. So if you like Dead by Daylight, and if any of that appeals to you, be sure to go check it out. Onto the newly revealed Dying Light 2 gameplay. Just a couple of days ago, Dying Light posted on YouTube showing gameplay footage recorded across all of the old gen consoles, those being PS4, PS4 Pro, Xbox One and Xbox One X. And in this new trailer, we see many different scenarios in which the player will find themselves in. Firstly, a parkour sequence where we can see Aiden jumping across rooftops, sliding under obstacles, and just doing all the cool parkour-y moves that we just expect within the Dying Light franchise. Then we cut to the player paragliding over the city, flying through rooftop gardens, and we're given a chance to just take in this beautiful scenery Techland have created for this game, which, to be honest, I have to say still looks amazing considering this footage is taken from old gen consoles. And I do think it goes without saying that we all know how important this is, considering this. Then we see some combat with both humans and mutants shown in this trailer. The combat looks really smooth and feels as though the hits actually connect with your enemies, and it's good to see that the fan favourite dropkick attack is still comically effective, being featured very prominently in this trailer. We also see some parry and dodge mechanics alongside some really sick looking weapons. Using the grapple in combat always seems like good fun, but I especially like whatever this weapon is. I don't know whether it's some kind of electrified sword or something, but it's definitely something I'm going to want to get my hands on for sure. We also see how the zombies can interact with one another, particularly during combat. For example, we see this big old guy absolutely launching this other zombie as he tries to attack the player. Personally, I see this as a really simple but nice touch, which just helps to make the game feel just that little bit more immersive for the player. Additionally, we also get a glimpse into the night sequence of Dying Light 2, which will obviously work extremely similar to the first game, where zombies will be more common as well as stronger during the night, and therefore the player will actually be granted player boosts, most likely typically in XP. A few cutscenes are also featured within this trailer, so we actually get a good look at how they're going to be presented on these older consoles. And to be honest, I think they look really stunning, and I trust Techland to deliver this same quality shown in the trailer in-game come February 4th. We're then shown a few more scenes like before, with Aiden showing off more of his insanely good parkour skills, as well as more of the beautiful scenery Dying Light 2 has, instead being recorded on the Xbox rather than the PlayStation. We see a bit more of the paraglider here, and honestly, not only is it probably going to be one of, if not the most scenic way to travel, we also see just how smooth the mechanics of the glider are, and it just suggests that it's going to be this insanely fun way to travel within Dying Light 2. Techland rounded off this new trailer with a completely uncut piece of gameplay featuring a parkour run recorded on these old gen consoles. With this parkour run, we're actually shown the HUD, which is going to be used in Dying Light 2, featuring the player's health in the top left, a compass at the top very similar to a lot of other games, quick select items in the bottom left, as well as a clock in the bottom right. The HUD, it looks clean, simple, familiar, so I've got no gripes with it. And as for the parkour itself, it looks as expected, the right balance of realistic while still very video gamey. Many players have pointed out how some of the jumps and I guess some of the landings as well seem very inhuman, superhuman, but the reason for this was actually confirmed by Techland, as they stated that Aiden is actually somewhat superhuman due to the tests performed on him as a kid. But what do you guys think? Does the parkour look good to you, or do you think it's maybe too arcadey, too video gamey? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And just to finish up, I thought we could take a look at some of the reactions to this recent trailer and just get a gauge for what the general community thinks about how this gameplay looks. First off, we've got this comment from Meat Slapper. Really love how you guys are being transparent about the old gen. We need to have some faith in game companies these days after the shady practices CDPR pulled. And obviously, unless on release something goes horribly wrong, I am confident we're not going to have another Cyberpunk 2077 on our hands. I have plenty of faith in Techland that they're going to use Cyberpunk as an example of almost what not to do. And I think it's going to help Dying Light 2 become this game that is going to be just as good as we all expect it to be. Another comment we've got here from Latinus. Looks pretty smooth and decent. Obviously expecting a graphical and frame rate downgrade on last gen, but that's expected. I'm glad you guys are covering this for those who are unable to get their hands on a new console. Unlike most companies, you guys actually care about your community. And again, like we've said before, in comparison to CG Projekt Red and what happened with Cyberpunk, it really seems as though Techland are trying to be as transparent and open with the community as they can, just to ensure that Dying Light 2 will be the best it can be. And like Latinus said here, it's good to see them covering the old gen experience and considering those who can't get themselves a new gen console. And finally, we got a comment here from AM. Good on you guys, Techland. Y'all ain't hiding everything behind animated cinematics, being straight to the point. Here it is, and this is what it will look like on these consoles. Y'all are taking your time, listening to feedback and issues, and you are all trying to figure out how to improve and build off that. I've never pre-ordered games before until these recent gameplay demo videos came out. Congratulations, Techland, for impressing me enough to be my first pre-order. I think AM perfectly summarizes everything the community has felt in the build-up to Dying Light 2's release. Because it seems as though from all the delays the game has had to even the most recent 500 hour of gameplay confusion that we had recently, Techland always seemed to be transparent with the community and as a result have hopefully created a final product in the end which is going to actually live up to these high expectations we've got for the game and provide a fun and immersive experience for those of us who are going to pick up the game on February 4th. But that was a quick rundown of the most recent gameplay release of Dying Light 2. If there is anything you want to ask me about Dying Light 2 just before it releases, or even after the release, feel free to drop it in the comments, and be sure to subscribe as we're going to have plenty more content like this surrounding Dying Light 2 when it drops. So if there's anything you want to know, leave that in the comments, and be sure to watch this channel for more open world game content. We're going to be venturing out into some other games. If there's any games you want us to look into, leave those down in the comments as well. But yeah, thanks guys for watching, really appreciate it, and have a good one. Peace. I've been trying to find a way to make it work.